Oh, we got,
I'm sorry, I'm slow.
oh, no, that's okay. I need some more females in here. Come on in. All right, my name is Teeter. For those that don't know me, a couple of you are new. I am from Ankeny. Used to sell real estate here for 6 years before I had to move to Arizona, where it's darn hot right now and don't want to go back tonight. I'd rather stay here. I've been in real estate since '97. I've sold real estate both in Iowa and in Arizona. I worked for the MLS down in Arizona and was a trainer down there for 5 years. And then went back into the real estate world and worked for Coldwell Banker as a broker, manager, productivity coach / whatever. Man. And then RPR got a hold of me and said, we'd like to have you come be the national trainer for RPR. And I said, I love it. And I do. I love what I'm doing. I get travel around the country and then also do webinars and work with contract trainers. So I enjoy what I do. But I use this software all the time when I'm working with buyers and with sellers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you lots of ideas as we go through. I'm going to kind of give you the overall view of what RPR is and how you can use it in your business, and then give you some practical ways that I've heard other agents are using as well as how I used it in my practice. So just kind of go through here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what is RPR, if you're not familiar with that. I'm going to show you how to use it with buyers and sellers, and then we're going to learn how to create reports and some of the things that I've learned over the last few days that people just go in and create the report, but they don't get to pick what's included in that report, and the report has got more than what they want or need in there. So I'm going to show you how you can customize it for each client, and then show you everything you can see on the home page, navigation, as well as all the property details that you can see on each property. And then I also am going to show you how to update your profile. So I want to make sure that you have your picture and your logo in there, so when you create a report, all that information is on the front of the page. When you send it out to your client, they have all of your contact information there. And then also where to get help. So after I leave today, I'm going to show you where you can look for more tutorials, video tutorials. We have some ebooks that will walk you through step-by-step on how to do things with different topics, as well as webinars that you can attend when they're scheduled. So what is RPR? RPR is NAR's wholly owned subsidiary corporation. It's a national database of over 166 million U.S. properties. Actually, it's probably closer to 170 by now. We've got a few more MLSs. So you can look at any single parcel in the entire United States. It may show as an off-market property. There are some MLSs that will let you see active, so don't be shocked when you run into an MLS or a property in another location in the United States and it will show active. But most of it's going to be off-market. And so you've got a client coming from out of state, moving here, and you want to kind of see what their neighborhood is, what the school district was like where they live, what their house was like, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot. Just put in the address, look it up, and then you can find all about them and all about the neighborhood that they live in. So you have access to everything. You also have access to commercial in here too. It is a constantly evolving application. It has changed. It started out in 2010, and every month we keep adding new features and new things, and it's all coming from you guys. So as you're working with this software or this application, you guys are making suggestions, or agents across the country are making suggestions on what they would like to see. So every month there's something new coming out. I think this month they're releasing, in I think another week, they're releasing if you have leases in the MLS, you're going to now be able to see residential leases across the country. We're going to be hooked up with zip forms, so if you do zip forms, you're going to be able to do reports right from zip forms. So there's a lot of different things happening each month, so don't be surprised when you get in there and see a new feature. I also do a webinar every month or every other month on what's new, so it kind of goes through and shows you everything that's just came out or just was released. But this software just keeps getting better and better every month. It's come a long ways from when I started using it back in 2010. There's no additional charge. It is free to you as long as you pay your dues to the National Association of Realtors. Only realtors that have done that have access to the software. I've run across realtors across the country that have been in my class, and they said, well, we didn't pay our dues. And I said, I'm sorry, you don't have access to this. Because apparently some states don't require that. But Iowa does, Arizona does. You guys, this is a member benefit for you. Therefore, no consumer or public has access to this like they do on Zillow and some of those other nice websites that we all have to deal with. The only way they're going to get the information is when you send a report out to them. You choose what's in that report, and that's what they get. So we're not an MLS. You still need Matrix. You still have to input your listings into Matrix, and then everything is uploaded into our system. So probably within 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, your listing will already be in RPR for those agents that are out searching. We're not a redistributor. We don't redistribute or sell the listings or anything. It just stays in our software, and it does not go anywhere other than to realtors. Some of the ways that you can use RPR, you can research property details. So again, any parcel across the country, you can learn how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, sometimes who sold it in the metro area, who's the last agent, who are the buyers, who are the sellers. All of that information is going to be in there. It's a good place to start to accurately price a property for a CMA. I'm going to show you how to do a CMA today in here. You can also use it in farming and prospecting tools. So when you're out, if you're farming a certain area and you need to know who the owner is of one particular house because you want to start marketing to them, all of their contact information is in there. It won't have their phone number or their cell, but it does have their mailing address that you can start mailing to them. It's a great way to stand out a listing presentation. I hear from agents all across the country that when they're going up against another company or two, and they do a leave behind of one of our reports, they're the one that's getting a phone call for the listing, rather than someone who maybe doesn't leave that big packet of information that can be left. It's a great way to open house. What I would do at an open house, and I hear houses are selling quite quickly here, and a lot of them are not doing open houses. I don't know if that's what you found here, but just in talking to some of the agents, that's what I've discovered. But in Arizona, we do have to hold open houses now. And there's a lot of reports that we will have at an open house. We'll have a market activity report, a neighborhood report, a school report, a mini property report, and having those on the counter. I would only have one at a time on the counter. And then as attendees would come through, they'd pick up one report and say, oh, I'm sorry, that's my only report. But if you'll give me your email address or your phone number, I will be happy to send it. I've got it right here on my phone. And I'll be happy to send it out to you. So I ended up getting all these contacts, and they would just follow up. But there's a lot of other ways. This is just a few of them that we've heard from agents across the country. There's two terms you're going to see in here, AVM and RVM. And AVM is an automated valuation model. It's based on the public records only. And there's a lot of AVMs out there on the market. Probably the one the most popular with everybody is Zillow. They use one or two algorithms in the background, and that's how they determine the price based on the public records and what those are. And if Iowa is anything like Arizona, those public records are not always accurate. So obviously the prices are not accurate. We have RVM, which is a realtor's valuation model. So we take the public record, all the public record data, and then we also add in on top of that all of the active, pending, off-market data. So it's combining the two databases. Because we stream all the information from your MLS, it's a lot more accurate when you're going into price of property. We have 5 algorithms that are built in the background of our software. So when all 5 are in agreement, you're going to see 5 stars on those properties. And then as each one doesn't agree, you'll see those stars go down to 1 or even an AVM if there aren't enough comps in the area to come up with a number for them. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Get out of the PowerPoint here. Yeah. All right. Once you have your account, does everybody have an account? No? Okay. Stick around afterwards and we'll make sure you have an account. All right. So once you have your account, you can log into nerrpr.com, or you can go through Matrix. Up at the top, there's a little bar, and then there's RPR, and that will take you right into the website.
I can get there from here, from there.
Oh, you can, so then you do have an
I
account.
must have one, because I can get there right now.
All right.
We'll see, I'll see you afterwards.
Okay, all right, sounds good. It'll say welcome, then your name. If you're dealing with anybody that is looking for a commercial property, if there's commercial properties in your MLS, those are going to show up here under the commercial tab. So you'll see all the commercial properties. Even if they're off the market, you'll see those in there. You also have help up here and then sign out. Right below that is a gear. If you click on the gear, this is the profile. So this is where you would come in and upload your photo and your company logo. And then it will show up on all of your reports from there. And then below that is all of the contact information. And you want to make sure that you have this filled out, because all this information is also going to show up on the cover page of your report. And then your clients would have access to all of that information. You can click on Add More if you want to add more phone numbers or email addresses or websites. All of that will show up as well. And then down below here, you've got home areas. If there's one that you don't want in there anymore, if I don't want Los Angeles, I could just click remove. I can add up to 10 different home areas. So if I put in, let's put in West Des Moines here. I'm going to put in West Des Moines, and then I'll show you. And then it will populate and give you a drop down of all the zip codes. So if I want a specific zip code, or all of Des Moines, I just click on it, and now you see that it's added to my list. Again, you can add up to 10 in here. I'll show you how you can use that here shortly. And then if you made any changes, just make sure you come down here and click Save. And it will save, and then I'm going to go back to home page, and now you just updated your profile. Here is the search bar. Everything that's in the dark blue is where you're going to be doing all of your searches. On the left-hand side here is Save. So anytime you save a property, save a search, save a neighborhood or a custom area, it's going to be in here. Here is where the West Des Moines will show up that I just put in there. So here's all the market activity in my home areas. If I click on that here, it's like doing a hot sheet. It's going to show you here in West Des Moines in the last 3 months, or you can, drop down and do the month, week, or days. All the new listings, the pending, new distressed, recently sold. And it came up with 785 properties, and I can go through and look at each of those, as well as on the map here. That's one way that you can use that. All right, I'm going to go back home here. You can look for all properties on or off the market from here, just by putting in an address, city, state, zip, neighborhood, township, MLS listing ID. All of that can be in here, and then just hit the search bar at the end. For sale, you'll look for any property that's active or in the pending state. And don't be surprised that when you're looking across the country in other states, maybe your client's coming from a different state, you pull up their address. Don't be surprised if you see active properties. There are some MLSs across the country that will allow outside of the state to look at their actives. So don't be surprised if you do that. It's not a mistake. Not very many, but there are a few. Then neighborhoods, you can look for neighborhoods in the area. Let's say I wanted to look for Urbandale, Iowa, and you can do it by zip code. You can do exact, within, or nearby. If I do within Urbandale, did I spell that right? Okay, now let's try that again. Urbandale. And it's going to show you all of the neighborhoods that are in this particular area. So if you're new and you want to learn to farm or want to pick a farm area, it's going to show you all of the names of the areas here. It's going to give you the median estimated value in that area, the number of homes that are for sale, the median days in the RPR, and the number of homes in the area. And then you can do a report just by clicking on any one of these. It'll take you in and tell you all about that neighborhood. So if I wanted to go to, let's see, let's find one that's got more for sale. Here's 9. Like 9 was the most.
Welcome to our market.
Yeah, you got a hot market. I think I need to move back here. Let me go back here. All right, so the Plaza Gardens in Urbandale, click on that. And it gives you the summary tab all the way to the housing, people, economy, and quality of life. And again, anywhere in the country you can pull up this information. So it shows what the median home value is over the last month, change over the last 12 months, and gives you some charts down here. When you see about this data, it gives you an explanation, a source, and then updates, how often it's updated. And then you've got the housing. So if I was going into a new area that I wasn't familiar with and doing an open house, I would come in here and look and see what's going on. So any question that someone would throw at me at the open house, I would be able to answer. Now here's housing. This shows how many own versus rent. So if you're looking for a client that doesn't want to be in a place where there's a lot of rentals, you can come in here and look at the neighborhood information and get that information. You got the median sales price, volume. Not a whole lot of activity here in some of these months. And then you've got people. Click on people. Maybe. Click on people. There we go. And then here's people, facts and stats, the median age, the female-male ratio, children by age group, adults by age group. So you can really help them get into the neighborhood that best fits them. Here's the occupational categories, even voting pattern if that's important to them. Nowadays, who knows? All right, then you got the economic, so what the unemployment rate is in the area, if they're needing to find jobs here. Or, yeah, there's the economic unemployment rate, and then you can uncheck any boxes if you want to just look for Polk County and Urbandale, how those compare. And then you've got the quality of life, how many days of sunshine, snowfall, rain, all that kind of fun stuff. Maybe here, there we go, quality of life, average commute time, and then how people get to work.
Is this information pulled from the census?
Yeah, a lot of it is, yes. We have about 350 or more, probably close to 400 different data sets. So we've gone out and scoured all of the websites out there that agents are always going to get this information, and we've streamed it all into this one software. So now you only have to go one place instead of greatschools.net, the census, all the different websites to get your information. It's all right here now for you. So shorten up your time frame, and you won't be spending as much research time. Schools, you can search for schools anywhere in the country. You can choose, if I want to look for just elementary schools in Urbandale, I can click on Urbandale, Iowa, and then search for schools that are just in the Urbandale area. And then you can sort them by name or by rating. You can see all the ratings here, all the information, you get the test scores, the report, find nearby properties for sale.
But do you have something to show you what neighborhood goes to what school?
I'll show you how that works here in just a second, okay? Yeah, you can find nearby properties for sale, but I'll show you how, if you really want to search for properties that are in a specific school district, I'll show you how to do that here in a second. All right. And you've got some more search over here if you want to add middle school to that, but then you can go right up here to reports and create a report for them. All right, let's go back home. Market activity. Once I get a house listed and it's on the market longer than 2 or 3 days like it is here, it usually lasts a little bit longer down there for us, I always send out a market activity report to my sellers. So every Friday or Monday, depending on when they wanted it, I would send out a market activity report to them. It would show them, update them, all the activity in their neighborhood, all the new actives, the new pendings, the new recently sold, the new under contract, expired. And so if I ever needed to lower the price, it gave me some ammo to, they would look through that and go, oh, well, this house is just exactly like mine. You're right. Their price was $40,000 lower than what we have. Okay, I agree. We need to lower the price. Because sometimes they would talk me into going over what I felt it was right. You know how those are.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Never heard that.
Darn them. I I didn't always like to do that, but sometimes they would convince me, okay, we'll give it a shot, but I'll be lower the price. I was usually right. So you can put this last month, last week, but I did every week. I would just go in and do that, and then you can have all these different statuses here show up: sold, distressed, pending, listings, show off.
Can you automate that, or do you have to send it?
I'll get it when we get into the reports, yes. It's not really automated, but you can update it, and then I download it and then attach it as a PDF.
Right.
Yeah, so you can do that, and I'll show you how to do that when we get into the reports. Good questions. And then if you've got listings in the MLS, if you click on My Listings, it will show all of your listings in the list. And then if you want to send a report out from that, someone calls you, when you're at the restaurant, and they just found it on the internet, they want more information, you can send out a report right from here just by clicking on My Listings. All right. And then right below that, you're going to see all of your recent properties that you've looked at, all of your recent searches, all of your recent reports. Right below that is your RPR mobile. Make sure, I'm going to show you the mobile. We'll go there here shortly. So make sure you have that on your phone or on your tablet or both. So depending on the age of my client, the younger ones use the phone, the older ones use the tablet. All right, then you've got Grow Your Business. There's some videos here of agents across the country that talk about how they're using RPR in their business. You're welcome to watch those. Down at the bottom of every page on the website, you have access to the blog, Facebook, learning, report a bug. If something's not right, click on report a bug and it will go to our IT team. Here's help. You can call this number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They are located in Omaha, Nebraska, and they do speak English and Spanish. Okay. And you can also do live chat. They're not from out of the country. All right. All right, so let's say I got a phone call from a client or past client that wants me to come over and do a market analysis on their house. So I would come in here to RPR, and in the beginning, in 2010, I did one in my MLS, I did one in RPR, and I did one in my tax records. So all three. And I see you guys have Realist here, so I do use Realist. So I did all three, and I always went back to RPR as the one that I sent out or took to the office or to the house. They all pretty much were right on the money. All right, so I'm going to put in the address, and we'll just put 1207. And as you type, it will bring a drop down, hopefully. Okay. And I'll just keep typing it. From all over the country. So here is my house that I'm going to go look at. I'm going to click on the search. It's showing that it is an off-market property. It's coming from public records. The current RVM on this one is 275, 230. When you see the little I, it's going to give you an explanation of what an RVM is. And I always recommend that you read through this a couple times because the public does not know what an RVM or an AVM is. They just know Zillow. That's all they know. Okay. So whenever you see that I, there's something under there. Go ahead and feel free to click on it. Right below that is View Details. When you click on View Details, it's going to show you all of the properties that were used to create that number. So here's all the properties that were used. Some were on the market, off the market. And as I scroll down, I've got the thumbnail information about the property. And then here are all the properties that were used to create that RVM. Some of these you may want to use, and then some you may not want to use. But it just kind of gives you a general idea. Here's some properties that are for sale. Here's off-market properties. You can take your time to look through those. And then I'm just going to X out of there. Down below that are all the basic facts. So this one happens to be a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, single family, 2,100 square feet. Price per square foot, $131, and then the owner's names. To the right of that is the range. So this is the range of the property values in that particular area around that subject property. And then it does show, is it a 5-star? And again, there's a little I, so it tells you about what an RVM is. And then down at the bottom, it gives you a little video of what an AVM and RVM is on the confidence score. It shows that the change over the last month, so this property has gone up value $1,340. The change over the last 12 months has gone almost 6%. And then there's another little video here on using RBM in the pricing discussions. It's about 90 seconds long. It's not very long. Watch that. Below that are the photos. These are the photos that the previous listing agent had put in. You can come down here. There's 14 photos. You can scroll through by clicking next. Or you can click on this little blue box down here at the bottom, and then you can scroll through and look at this photo in a little bit bigger format. If you click on the 4 boxes up here at the top, it will show all the boxes for all the pictures at once. You can look through those that way too.
Somebody didn't have a professional photographer.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Those are
what we-
cell phone. Somebody's listening.
We have a website down there that I think it's on Facebook. One of our agents started in our office, and it's bad photos, bad in-laws photos.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, one of them, he said, we have a Friday, every Friday we would have pizza come in, and everybody would sit around the table and we'd be talking, and John's sitting there and he says, oh, you gotta see the latest. And he pulls it up on his website, and the agent had gone in and taken a picture of the guy sitting on John. Yeah.
I was going to say, those are my favorite, the bathroom ones, the naked ones.
Yeah, naked ones, yeah, or they're standing in the bathroom taking a picture of themselves. See those all the time. That's funny. All right, and then also at the top here, you've got Street View. If you click on Street View, it's Google, and then you can use your mouse and just go around the neighborhood. Or you can use the compass over here and use the arrow, just click on that, and it will zoom around the neighborhood, either direction. Make you nauseous here, running around. Then the other is overhead. So if you have a property that has never been on the market, this is the picture that you will see. There you have that. All right below that, you have a place where you can put notes. Now, each one of you has your own accounts. So whatever you do in your account, no other realtor is going to see. So if I was told by my potential seller here that they had a major leak in bathroom downstairs and fixed, you know, and then you can put the date or whatever. It's just a place to start dumping some of the information that you get on a daily basis about that property. If you want to include it in the reports, you can leave this box checked. If you don't want to include it in the report, make sure that you uncheck that box, and then it will not be included in the report. You've got property notes here. You can add another note here. You can upload photos. So if it's a property that like one I showed yesterday at a RE/MAX office, we had an IO Realty sign. I mean, it was a picture of the front of the house, only one picture, but it had an IO Realty sign. Well, if I was RE/MAX, I wouldn't want that picture to go on the cover page when I'm doing a report. So I would go out and take a picture on my phone under that property, or do it in here and just upload it to my computer, and then go pull it up, browse for that file, and then I could use that picture as my cover page since I don't have maybe the inside photos. Okay. You can also do a seller's proceeds here. So if you feel that this house is worth, $325, you could put it in there. If it sells for $350, you could put in, what they're going to net down here at the bottom, net cash to seller. You will have to fill in the numbers itself. Have to have a calculator. It doesn't automatically fill it in. And then down at the bottom, you can clear and start over. So if you've done it once for another client and didn't clear it out, those numbers will still be there for the next one if you have another client that's looking at that house. You can save and print that form and then include that, or just save and close it. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel. It always tells you, I know they're not saved. Then you've got the owner's name here, all their mailing address. So sometimes you'll see it as a rental. They'll have an out-of-state mailing address or a different location. Home facts. These are all the public facts that are in here. If there's something in here like the fireplace, they've got a fireplace, and you know that they've got, let's say, a unique stone front. So you can put that information in if you'd like, just for your information. You have add a row. Let's say they just recently did an HVAC system. And I'm going to put add, and we'll put in that they did this in January of 2015. Then you can add any of the others as well. Just click on add again, and we have a list here. Maybe they added a pool. You click on pool, and then put yes. And then that would be for your information only again. Another place for notes, estimated home value. Right now I'm looking at all years. If I want to just look at 1 year, I click on 1 year, and then I can uncheck Iowa and Polk County if I just want to look at the zip code and that house and see what's going on. Whatever you leave it on is what's going to show up in your report. Then you've got all the interior and exterior details, location details. Again, it tells you where that information is coming from. Listing data here, public records. Got the walkability score. That seems to be important to those millennials now and some of those baby boomers. Here's the school information. On the left-hand side, it's from listing data. On the right-hand side, it's from the location from greatschools.net. Legal description. Here's the mortgage records. And when you click on show more, it's going to give you more information. Tax information. And then on the right-hand side, going back up, you've got schools that are nearby, and each one of these is a link to that information, reviews, and summary, and then you can create a report from there if you'd like. More about this neighborhood, we'll take you to that neighborhood tab and show you all 5 of those tabs. Then you've got some charts here on the side. Clicking about will give you an explanation, the source, and how often it's updated. Right above that is historical records. You can see this one has been in the MLS 3 times. When I click on compare historical records, I can learn a lot about this property from each time that it's been listed. So it shows here what it sold for, what the list price was, what the historical RVM was, and that was back in 2008. Now I'm looking at 2007. What the square footage is. Here's the photos. I can scroll through and look at the photos, look at the verbiage that the agents put in. Here's the price change history. And then the home facts. And I usually try to spend a little time in this area. This is where I can really learn if something has been done differently from one listing to the next. Lots of times I'll find living square footage is way off or close, maybe a couple hundred, but sometimes it's thousands of feet off across the country.
Yeah, split levels are always interesting.
Oh, yeah.
See what they got by with.
Exactly. And then you've got the details, the room details if you put in the measurements, interior and exterior features, even who the listing agents were. Remax had this one. Location details, legal description. And then if it's been in more than just those couple times, up here at the top, you just click the down arrow, and then you can look at the next one or public records. Let's click that X to get out of there. Right above that are heat maps and the map. If I click on bigger map, it shows where my property is located and then all of the values of the properties around it. So the RVMs or AVMs will show up. Anything that is blue, I can click on it and it will show all the details. I can click on more details and it will give me all of the information I just showed you on this property. If I click on a gray one, that just means it's off market. Sometimes when they don't have photos, that just means that it's never been in the MLS. Find one here that has been. Okay, there we go. So sometimes they'll have photos, sometimes they won't. But again, just click on more details to learn about it. You can move the map around. When you move the map around, then those property values will come in there. And if you see, here's one that was just recently sold. Okay. And then right below that is heat maps. So if I'm going over to my listing appointment tonight, I like to go in here and look at the heat maps. First one I look at is 12-month change in estimated value. Here's my key that shows values anywhere from dark red, which has gone down 15%, all the way up to 20%, which is the dark blue. Shows where my property is located right here. It's just on the verge of going into a little bit darker blue for values. Dark red going down, dark blue going way up. So I look at that, and then I come back and look at list price to sales price and see how that compares. So we're kind of in the neutral just a little bit. So they're getting maybe a little bit more for their property than the list price. Another one that's really popular down in our area is flood zones. Click on flood zones, and then you can see, and this is all coming from FEMA, and you can see where those flood zones are. So if they're looking at properties that are in those areas, they may need to get flood insurance. So if that's important, pull up that heat map and locate that. All right, and we do have some others here. Distressed properties, concentration. If you click on that, you'll see there's a little bit over here in Grimes, but not much in the area, which is nice for you guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click on smaller map. That's everything on just the summary tab. Click on history tab. It kind of gives you a bird's eye view of what's been happening with this property over the last few years. Right above. When you hover over, here's a little, it says new conventional loan in 2013 and the amount. Here's another one over here, new conventional for 281. You can hover over the little house, it'll tell you what it sold for, and you hover over the broken line, it will tell you what the RBM or the ABM is. Now there's to put notes, prior sales transactions. Right now I'm looking at public records, 2015. I can go back next and go back a little bit further. You can kind of see what's been happening to that property over the last few years. You can also toggle over to MLS records and just toggle back and forth to get the information that you're looking for. Show more. There's always more information down below. Got tax assessment information, mortgage records. And again, if you're looking at an active property, you can see whether they've got some equity in the house. So if you need to write a little bit lower offer, you can do the research and kind of figure out where the sellers are standing at that point. All right, then you've got charts next door. This will give you some charts. Most of these charts are done on a monthly basis, but it gives you a description, a source, and how often it's updated. There are two down here that are updated on a daily basis. Listing inventory and distressed are updated on a daily basis. The next one over is refined value. So you see that my RVM right now is 275, 230. You can adjust on basic facts. So if your homeowner said, well, I just added onto my house, I added, a couple hundred more, and now I'm at 2,500 square feet in my house. If you do that, then click Apply Changes, and it will show that it just added 41,000 to that house for that particular area. Let me go back and restore original. If you change bedrooms, if I click on 4 bedrooms, click Apply Changes, sometimes it will add, sometimes it doesn't, across the country. I did this out in New Jersey, and the bedroom out there was 120,000 for 1 bedroom. Down in Arizona, it's 25 to 30,000 when you add a bedroom. So it varies across the country depending on the location, on what a bedroom is worth.
We're only worth 7,000.
Apparently.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
And then you just hit restore. So if someone's looking to add onto their house, or maybe take another room and maybe make it smaller and add a bedroom or whatever, you can kind of say, well, if you do that, then this is the value that you're going to be adding to their house or taking away from your house.
Where do they pull those numbers from? Is it from the National Association of Remodelers, or where do they get those averages? Do you know?
The algorithms are all built in the background. I'm not really sure where that's all coming from, but it's different in every state, in every city, which is, so somehow it figures it out. I don't have a definitive answer for you, sorry. Good question. Then based on home improvements, so in the conversation I've had with my client, they've told me what they've done to the house, what upgrades they've done. Then I can come in here, click on, and we've got a nice long list here of a lot of upgrades that are possible. So let's say, for instance, they did a kitchen remodel. This one says mid-range. It gives you an explanation of what a mid-range is. If that's not really close, then you could try the next one down and give you another description. So you have to just kind of pick the one that's closest to what they did. And then you're going to go in and when they completed it, so let's say they did it in March of 2015, and the cost was $15,000. When I click add, it now says that upgrade was now worth $6,700. Hanley Wood is a leading aggregator of home improvement. If you've been in the business a while, remember the Realtor magazine, they used to have all the values for Southwest, Southeast, Midwest. That was done by Hanley Wood. So now all of his algorithms and everything is built into our software that will help you with your values for that particular area. It goes right down to the zip code of this, where the house is located. And then it takes into consideration what the cost of materials are, what the cost of labor at that time was, and it comes up with a value for that property. Now, a lot of ways that you can use this, if you're working with an investor and they're getting ready to purchase a home or remodel a home because it's been neglected, or hoarders, we seem to have a lot more hoarders lately down in our area, and they want to do a bathroom remodel, and after they close, so let's say it's June here still, 2016, and then find out what they want to spend. So if they're going to put in $6,000 worth of upgrades, click add. Now we just added $2,300 to that particular property. And you can do that with the bathrooms, the kitchens. They want to add decking on the back, whatever they want to do. Or even a buyer that's maybe looking to purchase a house that needs some updating. You can tell them this is the kind of value that's going to be added to the house if you do that right now. And then they'll have equity. All right. If there's something that is not on this list, if you go all the way down to the bottom and click on Other, you're going to put in, let's say they carpeted 2 bedrooms, the kids' bedrooms, and they spent $500 doing it, approximately. Put in the date that they completed. Let's say they were thinking about selling January this year. And then you, as the local market expert, is going to have to figure out what the cost will be. So what, are you going to give them the full $500? Or because they've been using it now for 6 months, and it's the kids' rooms, you know, they've spilled Kool-Aid on it, the dog and the cat's been in there, whatever the case may be, you have to decide what that value is going to be. Hanley Wood doesn't know what other means, so you have to come up with a value. So let's say in this case, I'm going to give them credit for $400. 400. Click add, and then you'll see that that's the value that has been added to the house. So you'll have to come up with the number if you use other. All right, now you see that I've just added $9,500 to the cost of this house. If I go up to the top, you can see that the value is up to $284. Another way that you can, and you don't always have to do the refined value. Market and home conditions is another way that you can refine the value. Local market conditions. I hear it's kind of hot around here. So you can slide that up to where you think it is. And when I go down the bottom here, I just added another $9,000 to this house. If I go up a little further, I just added $12,000. So you have to make the decision on how hot you think it is. Okay. And then you'll do the same thing with the exterior. So how's the exterior compared to all the comps? Is this one in better shape than the others? If not, you can slide it down the other direction. Same way with the home interior. You're probably, familiar with those homes in the area. You've probably been doing a lot of showings in those areas, so you have a pretty good idea of what the interiors look like. So if you think that this home is in better shape than maybe some of those, then just move that slider to whatever direction you want. And then you see down here that we're down to $12,000. So up at the top now, I've got my property value up to $296, just based on my level of knowledge. Okay? And you may not see it that way, but we're just kind of playing it. All right, then the next one over is the comp analysis. There's 2 different ways that you can do a comp analysis. Up here is all the thumbnail information about your property. And then you have comparative analysis or sales comparison analysis. Either one that you can use. If you have a unique property, I would recommend using the second one. If you know your values really well, that what an extra bedroom is worth, what the extra square footage in the neighborhood is worth, then you can, use this one. But if you want just quick, out the door, ready to go, use the first one, because the computer will generate those properties for you. You select the properties and the CMA is done within minutes. So if you're familiar with the area, I usually work in my subdivision where I live, only because I don't do a whole lot of selling right now. And so I know the properties really well in there, and it usually takes me 5 minutes to do a CMA, because I know which properties is the same floor plan, because they only have so many models, and I just go in and go, okay, this one, this one, this one, and I've already been through this one, and it's very quick to do. So anything that you see with an asterisk up here is required. It has to have a value, so if one is missing, you have to fill it in over here under your changes. Everything looks good here. I'm just going to come down and click Confirm Facts and Close. Next step is Find Comps. You can add a known property if you know one that's sold for sale by owner. My phone never rings during class, except this week. Okay. So you can add MLS listing ID if you want to make sure that that property is going to be in your list, or you can add the address. You can search an area for several properties, which is what I'm going to do right now. So it's going to be looking for properties that match my criteria. So over here on the left is your property type. I'm just going to choose single family. Here's property status. I've already got active, pending, and sold. So it remembers what you did the last time, so it creates the default for you. If this was distressed, I would just go ahead and check that box, or if I wanted to see those that were expired or canceled, I could put those in there. But anything that is checked is what's going to be used for the search for those comps. Then you put in the date range, and you can choose anywhere from last week to 18 months. Or you can do a date range. So if you're going to farm an area or prospect, you could go back, let's say, 8 years. Maybe the turnaround rate around here is 5 to 7 years. If you go back 8 years and see who's been in their property for 8 years, maybe they're ready to move down or move up, and then you can start farming to those people. I'm just going to leave it on 6 months. Then you've got all the property details, and you can go ahead and put in, if I want to go just up to 4 or 5, you can put in what the range is, or just leave it. Same way with baths. Living square footage, it's automatically 20% on either side of your property. If you don't want to go that high and just go down, you can go ahead and make those changes. You can choose any one of these other 4 if you like. There's also a place to put keywords. So if this was, let's say, a 2-story, and I only want to look at other 2 stories, I would type in 2-story, click Add. It's going to look at the remarks that the listing agent put in, but it's also going to look at all of the fields in the MLS. So it's coming from those areas. You can put up to 6 keywords in there, and if you decide that you don't want those keywords, just hit clear and it will remove them, or you put in finished basement, pool, a lot of those things that you're looking at. And then hit search. You can see where my property is located here, and now you can see where all the comps have come in. If there's one on the map that you know that you want, like this one right here, if I want to use this one, I would just click on it. I can look at more details that open up in a new tab, so I can look at all the details about the property, preview the pictures. If this is one that I truly want to use, I would just come back in here and click Use as a Comp, and then you can see how it comes over here in this panel. All the properties that I select that will be used in my CMA will be in this panel right here. So you can select from the map.
I have a question. If you perform one of these, and at the time that you create the report, the status is pending, will it update with correct numbers once it goes sold?
No, because once it's generated, it's a PDF.
Okay.
So you would have to go back in and redo it. And I'll show you how to do that here when we go in there. All right. You can also, here's 9 properties for sale. So if there was, here's one right now. This is the one that is right over here. So I've already selected that from the map. If you see anything that has a star, that means it was used to create the RBM. So it was in that list under View Details on the summary page. If this is one that I want to use, I could just go ahead and check that box. But you don't have to use those. I'm going to come down here and select some other properties here. Let's see. We'll just use this one. I use this one. Maybe this one. You know, obviously it would take a little more time than what I'm doing today, but it kind of gives you an idea. And then there's also properties for sale if you want to use those. The appraisers that I've talked to always say at least 3 to 5 comps are good for a CMA. All right, so I've got several over here on the right-hand side. I can update valuation close at the bottom. I can look at these. I can remove any of these from here. Or I can come up here to the top and I can see the range. So I've got a range of anywhere from 243 to 445. I'm just going to click Update Valuation and Close. It shows that the average of my comps is 325. If I'm okay with that, I'll just come down here and click Adjust Comps. It shows that I've got 5 properties up here. And in looking at them side by side, sometimes you can tell better that whether they're a good comp or not. So if I find that this one here, it's probably not the best, I can come up here and click Remove. It removes it. So now I'm down to 4 properties. I can click Next over to see the next one. So you can eliminate them right from here if you want. And maybe this one right here isn't quite where it needs to be either, so I can go ahead and remove that. And as I do that, you can see the price over here is adjusted. For each one that you remove, it adjusts it. You can change which record you want. If one's more accurate than the other, you can use which public record or listing record that you want on each property. You can click on bigger photos and then scroll through and look at the photos and see if it's truly a good fit for your property. Whatever photo you leave it on is what's going to show up in the report. So if you want to go back to the beginning, just make sure that you're back to that first picture if that's what you want. Hover over the little eye here. It's going to give you the historical listing details on each property. So right now you see my subject property has a value of $261. The result here, the comps, so I can rate the comps. So how does this property here compare to my property? If this one is not as good, I can slide that down to where I feel it should be, and you can see how it automatically raises the price of my subject property. So it automatically does the calculations for you. And then same way with the next one. If this one is maybe a little bit better, you can see how it just took out $4,800, took it back down to $264. And you would do that with each one. So you can manipulate the numbers to get it to where you think that property value should be very easily. Hovering over the little eye underneath, it's going to give you a map and show you where that comp is located in relationship to your subject property on each one. Then it gives you the side-by-side. If you were in the sales comparison, this is where you could add 20, 30,000 depending on whether it's an extra bedroom or 7,000 if it's an extra bedroom. Or a price per square foot, if it's $100 a square foot, then you could add the difference, multiply and add or subtract depending on which direction it needs to go. And then down at the bottom here, the notes, what I would do is anytime I move those sliders either direction, I would let them know why I moved it that direction. I moved it this one because they've updated the bathroom, the kitchen, you know, living room, all new tile, hardwood floors. It's a little more updated than yours. So I would let them know why I moved those sliders in whatever direction I did. So down at the bottom here, I've got adjustments of $7,500. If you're okay with that, click Update Valuation and Close. It shows the results of your comparative analysis, the results of the comps, the adjustments, and then the comp analysis. I never gave the client this number. I always went into Edit, and then you could change this to 280 if you want to give them a number, or you can come down here and do a range. So we feel comfortable listing it for 280 to 290, whereas they want 350. Hit Save, and then you have the range. Then you would come down here and click report, or print report. It'll take you to the report tab. These are all the reports that we have. It defaults to the seller's report. I am hearing that there are a lot of agents across the country that instead of using the seller report, will use a property report for the listing presentation. So you have a choice on which one that you want to use. Clicking on show sample on any one of these will show you, you can scroll through and look at the pages, what it's going to look like. Now at the bottom, it's going to tell you how many pages. The seller's report is the largest report that we have. It starts off at 75 pages if you would leave everything in there. However, I've seen it go as high as 100. Yeah. Definitely email that one out instead of printing it off and running through a ream of paper and a cartridge or two of ink. All right, so if you click on more details on any one of these, it's going to show you all of the elements that are included in that report. When you hover over the little I, it's going to show you what that page looks like. And then if it's something that you don't want to include, just make sure that you uncheck that box. So anything that's checked will be included in that report. Anything that's not checked will not be included. So down here at the bottom, in the middle here, here's selected market activity for active listings. So in this area, if I know that there's 20 active listings in the area, it's going to give me a side-by-side of all the active listings, which is good. But the next one down here is an individual page on each of those 20 properties. So that adds another 20 pages to your report. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Same way with pending. If there's 20 pending in that area, or 8, you're going to have 8 separate pages. And that's what makes the report so large. So you can see I have unchecked all that. Once I have a listing, I always send out a market activity report on Friday or Monday. And then that would include all that information. But I usually don't give it to them up front. It's up to you though. Sometimes I do. It depends on if they're an engineer or a doctor, then they get it all. Recommended pricing strategy, seller's proceeds. You have all that information here. You can have your photos, all 2 pages or just the main photo. Again, that can take up quite a few. Include your notes. If you want to include the notes, just make sure that box is checked. If you don't, make sure it's unchecked. You can suppress the estimated value of the subject property, so if you don't want them to see what the RBM or ABM is, you can suppress it and that will not show. Same way with the estimated value for the comps. If you don't want them to see that, you can uncheck that box as well. And then down at the bottom, you personalize it. So if I want to include their name, I would place a check mark in that box and then put Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And then I could do some kind of a call to action message in here. And then you're going to choose the delivery method. So you can display now, which will open up as a PDF, or you can email it to them with a copy being sent to you if you'd like, and then just hit run report. And it's going to go out and generate the report. When the report is done, it's going to ring a doorbell. If you've got cats and dogs and you're doing this at home, dogs will go to the door and so will the kids. Guaranteed. All right. On the left-hand side are all the reports that we have generated, that you have generated. If there's a report that you would like to go back and look at, go back up here at the top here. Here's the one that's being generated right now that we just did on Hammond Tree. It's finalizing. The market activity report, let me scroll, here's one, market activity report in Johnston. When you click on the plus sign on any one of these, so I would send it out the first time as a PDF to my client, and then I come back in here each week, and all I did was hit rerun this report, and then it would generate the report, and when it's downloaded, I would download it on my computer and then send it as an attachment. So each week I would do that. I wouldn't have to go back in and redo it.
But it will rerun the report, but you can't tweak any of the settings in the reports.
No, no. If you want different things, then you would have to go back in and
Well,
start.
sometimes, after you go live or after you send out a report, or maybe you get that together, and I guess I hope I'm sharing this so that maybe you can let them know, and sometimes after you visit the house, let's figure out or learn that they've got things finished downstairs that maybe you couldn't see before. So the ability to go back in and modify a report rather than rerun it all.
All right, so if this was, it was Hammond Tree, I could go back into the property details Everything's still going to be there unless I've deleted it. So you can see what my refined value is, what my comp analysis. I can go back in and just readjust and make those changes and then just do another report. But it's going to stay there until I delete that information. So it doesn't take long to go back in if you do find that they do that, and then you just generate another report and send it to them.
Okay.
But back under the reports, let me go back there just one more time here. On the reports, like this one, you can download the report, you can rerun the report, you can share it on Facebook, and if you made a mistake and you don't pick it up, you can delete that report too. So if you did find out that they'd done something different, you went back in and done another seller's report, just make sure you go in and delete the one that you don't want. Click on. Okay. All right. Here's the property report. These are all the details that are in the property report. I like to use this report with the area that are not familiar with it because it has the neighborhood information as well as the school summary. I use that. Here's a create a property flyer. If you do ever get around to doing open houses again, you could quickly do a flyer. Valuation workbook, that one is only used when you do the sales comparison analysis. So that goes with that particular CMA if you're doing that. Here's the market activity report. So right now I'm looking at Urbandale. I can choose past 3 days to the past 3 months. I can choose what property status or property type I want, the number of listings I want in each category, all the way up to 50, and then the different types. And I usually uncheck open house, but I have all the others in there. And then again, personalize it. Neighborhood report. Here's the 4 neighborhood reports if they need information about this particular neighborhood, and I sent them out a mini property report. I can send them all the information about the neighborhood. And then here's the school report. Here are the 3 schools that happen to be in this particular area with this associated with this home. Then I would just go ahead and select which school I wanted, hit select. And now I'm at Webster Elementary School. Here's all the details that I can have in that report. And then you can choose public, private, charter. Do you guys have charter schools here?
No. Well, no, they shut down downtown. Is it still there?
There was one downtown.
Yeah.
Okay. On Grand? Or on,
Yeah.
Grand.
There might have been talk about them losing their charter at one time.
I thought that they lost because they couldn't generate enough money to make it work.
Well, they were struggling back in 2002 when I still lived here.
Yeah.
We have lots of charter
It
schools.
may have been management.
Yeah, could be. So you can pick and choose, you know, if you want just public, if you want public-private charter, and then what grades they need, so you can really customize it. You can look for schools that are within that district or all the way up to 20 miles. You can look for properties that are within that district or up to 20 miles. So you customize it to your client. All right, let's go back home. All right, I've got a client now that's looking for a property. So let's go to Urbandale here, Iowa. And what price range should we look for?
If in Urbandale, probably
3,
250,
I was gonna say, yeah.
and is the minimum.
What's that, 3?
Probably 250 is the minimum.
Okay,
Not much. Old Urbandale maybe.
so let's go 300 then. 300 to
Maybe 4.
4, okay. How many beds?
4.
That should be 4.
Okay. Baths, we don't have to select anything, we usually 3, okay. And then if you click on the advanced at the end here, it's gonna open up and give you some more options. I don't want pending, so I'm gonna uncheck pending. If you don't want distressed properties, you can uncheck those if you like. You can choose living square footage if you'd like, or a range. You can do lot size. Then you can select property type. I'm going to choose just single family. So I'm going to uncheck all and then just select single family. You can do it by year built. You can do listed within a certain time frame, anywhere from last 24 hours up to a month. Price change. anywhere with the last 24 hours. Your built, keyword search. Are we looking for 2-story, ranch?
Ranch.
Ranch?
Yeah.
All right, let's put in ranch and then click add. I know pool doesn't work. We tried that yesterday. You guys don't have any pools like we do.
Never
Walk
mind.
out.
Huh?
Walk
You
out.
wanna try walkout? Should we see that? All right, so put walkout here. And again, this is coming from the list, what the listing agent put in remarks or the fields that you have in your MLS. Okay, I'm gonna go back up here to the top and click search, and let's see what we can find. All right, 9 properties. You can see on the map where those properties are located. Sometimes if you have a bigger number here, you can change this down to show 100 or 50 or 20. You can sort by anyone recently updated over to your built. We'll just leave it on the most expensive first. If there's not enough that come in here, you have all of your criteria over here on the left-hand side. So if I wanted to take out walkout, I could click that out and then click apply. And let's see if we added any more, just out of curiosity. And it's still whirring around. Okay, it's still thinking.
Dropped it down.
Dropped it down 5. Oh, interesting. And then if you wanted to go back, we could go back and look at those. Or you can uncheck at ranch and then click apply. If that's not enough for them to pick from, then you have the option of going even further. So now I'm up to 27. Okay, so right now only 10 is showing on the map. I'm going to change this up to 100 just so that I've got all the properties on my map here. You can click on any one of these, open it up. Sometimes there will be an estimate, sometimes there won't be. And then if you hover over that I, it's going to give you the reason why. There just probably wasn't enough comps in the area to create an AVM or an RVM. Here's basic facts. Oh, it's a brand new house, that's why. Okay, let's go back and do a different one. I'm going to hit back to search results. And let's pick a different one in the list here. Let's go down. We'll try this one. All right, so here's the list price. Here's the RVM. Bedrooms, bathrooms. Shows what's been happening over the last month, last year. Here's the photos underneath. This one also has a virtual tour. So I can scroll through and look. Or I can click on the little blue box and go bigger. Okay. Scrolling on down, you have all that information. Scroll down to mortgage, school information. Here's the mortgage record. So if I was working with my buyer, I'd come in here and look and see if they're, if I lowballed them, which probably doesn't happen too often right now. Probably getting more than what the asking price is. But if I could come in here and see if they've got some equity in the house, so we've got a little wiggle room, to make an offer. And then again, you've got all the different tabs. You can come in and do a comp analysis. You can look at the history, sales and financing activity. Again, hover over that and find out what they did. They have an arm on that one. Credit line. So they got some issues here. All right. Let me go back to the summary tab here. You can click on bigger map here. And then you can see where your property is located and then all of the ones that are for sale around the area. You have the heat maps you have access to. Now, if there was properties, let's go back up here. And let's go back to results here. I want to show you the mapping tools here. So the bigger map. So here is the Urbandale area. I have all these properties on here. If I want to zoom in, I come up here and zoom in a little bit so you can see it there. right, so here I've got to go just a little bit here. All right, up here is your box, your radius, and your polygon. If I want to use polygon, click on it and just outline the area. Bypass certain areas here. And then you can look just in that area. You can edit that area and then move this around. Okay, I want to include that one, but not the other one. You can finish editing. If you click on this and hit save, it's going to save the outline of that property, and you can save it for, this is my search area for the Smith family. But it's not going to save the criteria. So the criteria, the 3 to 400K is what they're looking for, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's only going to show the outline. But if you come up here to the top and save it right here, then it's going to save the search criteria as well as the outline. And then I can rename it and put in Smith family search. And then click OK. Okay. So that's 2 ways that you can save it. And then you can see how this changes to a gold star, which means it's been saved. Drive time. So if I'm looking in this area, let me clean this up a little bit. If I'm looking at this area for my clients and they have to be a certain distance to school or to work, you click on drive time here. You can put in the address of where their school is or their work, or you can click on the map and then use drive time by car or by walking, the time of day that they're going to work, the day that they're going to work, and then how far they want to go. So let's say they only want to be 10 minutes. Click on that, click apply, and it's going to go out and show you how far you can go in 10 minutes. And then you can outline the area if that's the area that they want to be and look for the homes in that area. You can also click on it again and readjust it if you need to, just by moving this around. Distance works the same way. Just click on it where they work. And then you can choose your distance, anywhere from 5 to 25 miles. And click apply. And then it shows how far 5 miles to go. And then you can look for those properties that meet that criteria. All right, reset map. Another way to refine your map is on show geographies. So depending on how far out you are zoomed or far out in on school districts. So if they're looking for a specific school district like K through 5th grade, I click on that and it shows all my properties that showed up in my search, but now it shows all the school districts. When you click in that box, it's going to show you what the name of that school district is. And you can click on multiple areas and locate. And then if you don't want those areas, just go back in and uncheck them. So let's say they want the Walnut Hills Elementary School District. Up here at the top, you can create a market activity report for that area, and then you can also search in that geography. So be aware up here, if I selected 2 of them, now I can search in these 2 geographies. Click on that, and now it just shows you those properties that are in those school districts. Whenever I do a school report or do school districts like this, I always make sure that the clients go and double check, call the district, make sure that this house truly is in that school district, because these boundaries change all the time. All right, and then over here on the right-hand side, right now I'm looking at gray. I can click on road, and then it shows me all the parks and the water and a little more of the landscape. You can go to aerial or to overhead and show your clients things like this if you want, or you. Another one is POIs, points of interest. If I click on points of interest, I have all these points of interest now. Let's say, for instance, your clients are needing daycare. So I click on daycare, and it pops up and gives me all these little gray dots all around. So here's a couple properties over here, and there are some daycares that are close by. Here's one on Day Farms. Gives you all the information about the daycare, plus search listings nearby. Okay. So, and it could be close to work, could be close to home, whatever. If I close this up and I move on, the next time I come in and do a search, when I click on POIs, it will automatically insert the daycare. So if you don't want that to happen, just go ahead and click on edit, make sure that box is unchecked, and then the next time it won't. You can go in and select different ones. Down at the bottom, we do have some more, whoops. Down at the bottom, more POIs, and then you can do, scroll down here, agricultural, construction, government, manufacturing, mining. If they're interested in being close to any of those will show up. Shopping and warehouse, or shipping and warehousing. All right. Okay. So now let me go back to my list. I'm going to go up to list view up here. Let's say I'm going to go out and I'm going to show these properties. I'm just going to select 4 of these properties here. I've already gone in and done my research. And these are 4 of the properties that I'm going to go out and show my clients. Okay. So now let me go into my phone here. How are we doing on time?
12:18.
12:18?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we're fine. Are you guys fine?
No, I'm fine.
It's better than 5 minutes.
I do have some places to
You're
lunch, but I can
doing
do that another time. Once I get some food soon, I'll be back.
Okay, so here I am on my phone now. I'm going to tap on RPR down here at the bottom right next to my maps. It shows where I'm located right now. So I'm right here within Colby Woods. Okay, give me a moment. There's Urbandale. So there's 3 different screens that you have access to. This one shows you all the local market conditions for this area where I'm located right now. Median price, median list price, so on. Price sale over the last 12 months is up 31%. Then you have all of the properties that are for sale in the area. So you've got all the activity. 52 properties for sale, 7 new listings, 13 recently sold, 10 distressed. If I wanted to look at those 52 properties, I would just tap on the screen there, and it's going to open up and give me those 52 properties in the map. And then I can zoom in. If there's a property, you can see where I'm located. I can tap on the 218. It pulls up the thumbnail down below, and then I can open it up and get all the details about the property. Okay. We'll come back to that here in a little bit. This one is my default page, and the reason I know that is because that little gold house in the upper right-hand corner. If I want this one to be my default, then I would just hold my finger down on that house until this page says default homepage set. Now, every time that I log in to RPR, it goes to that page. I always found that the search is the one that I use the most. So I like that one to be my default. So again, I'm going to hold down that house and just hold on it. And now this is my default page. All right, so let's say I am going out and showing properties. Down in the lower right-hand corner, they're fading fast for me, aren't they? Down the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to tap on Save.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So here's the 4 properties that I'm going to be showing. So I'm going to go back to properties here. Now the searches. Here are the 4 properties that I'm going to go out and show my clients. So I go to the one at 16035 North Park. I'm going to tap on that screen. It opens up, gives me all of the photos about the property. If I want to scroll through and look at the photos, I can do that. Or I can click in the box in the lower right-hand corner. There's a little blue box there down by that table. If I tap on that, then it's just one photo at a time. So if I need to show my clients before we go through the house, you know, the pictures, I can do that. If I turn my phone to the side, it now has a bigger photo. So again, depending on the age of my client, was whether I use the photo on the phone or on the tablet. Okay. Then I've got what the list price is, price per square foot, the RVM details. If I click on that, it's going to show me that this one happens to be a 5-star. So any question that my buyer asks, what's the square footage on this? 1622. Well, it's a little bit smaller than what they want. Oh well. All right, then we've got, here we go. Listing details shows me who the listing agent is. If I need to call him or her, not sure who it is.
SWAT,
Okay, actually from Concepts too.
he's in this office.
Ah, okay. All right, so if I wanted to call him and I have a question, I can tap on that little phone there to the side and it will call him. All I have to do is hit call and the phone will automatically dial him. I'm just going to hit cancel. I can go to his website, I can email and it will open up and I can send an email to them. Here's all the listing information, agent remarks, occupant, description, location details. So if I was sitting in a restaurant and one of my clients called and wanted to know about this one, I could do driving directions and it'll take me right to this house using my default GPS. Here's nearby properties for sale, nearby comps. Here's all the homeowner facts, home facts. So if they want to know any information, I have all that right in my fingers. Homeowners Association. So it's a little different format than what you see on the computer, but you have it all right here. And then anytime you see these, you just tap on it and it will open up and give you all the details. Right down to mortgage records and tax information. What are the taxes? $2,700.
Wow.
All right, down at the bottom, you have notes, reports, call agent, and then the star just shows that I have saved this property. So while I'm going through the house with my clients, I'm going to tap on notes, and it takes me in, and now I can do notes, photos, or memos. So if we're going through the house and we see something that they really say, oh, I absolutely love that, or that floor plan, you know, if they're thinking about purchasing that house, sometimes they like to know the floor plan, how they laid it out. So I can tap on add a photo, take a photo, and then I can go ahead and zoom in and take a photo. Smile.
Lady comes with the house.
Yeah.
There goes the Airbnb.
Especially stick the guy in the background.
Yeah,
That's his bodyguard.
yeah.
You know, and I would take pictures if I saw water damage or, you know, maybe a hole in the wall. You know, I would document all of this and it would be in this, you know, property detail. Then if I want to use this photo, I hit use photo. If I want to retake it, I could retake it. And then do you want to add another photo? Yes or no. If I say no, then it will save that photo with this report, and I can use that cover photo as the report cover. I did that in the other class. They were shocked that their picture was on the photo, on the report. All right, so it's saving the photo. All right. Okay, it didn't save. Let's try that again. Add a photo. Let's try that again. Smile. You're a candy camera. Takes me back a few years, doesn't it? All right, so do I want to add, what's that?
Showing red.
I know. Do you want to add another photo? Yes or no? I'm going to say no. And now the photo is there. I can edit if I want to edit, and I can use it as a report cover. So I'm going to go ahead and click on use a report cover, maybe. There we go. So this image will be the report cover. And you can delete. So I'm going to hit update and then add a note. So as the clients are going through the house, I'm tapping on this and I'm putting in here my notes on what they're saying about each room. So for instance, I'm going to hit the little microphone down at the bottom. Master bedroom is too small for my large furniture. Hit save, and now that note is in there. I want to include it in the report. I just tap on that little box, checks the box, and now when they get the report at the end of the day, they have all the pictures that we took in the house and all the notes and everything that they said about the property. And it just is a good reminder of what, okay, yeah, you're right, I didn't like this house. The bedroom was too small, rather than just looking at the pictures. They've got all their comments in there. And you can do a memo if you like as well. All right, then down at the bottom, I can go back to property details, or I just tap on my screen and I can go to reports. Go to reports, there we go. These are all the reports that we have, which are the same as what you have on the desktop. I usually would send the mini property report to them. It's just kind of a refresher on what they saw. Include my mobile notes, I'm gonna leave that yes. Report, or all report sections, if you tap on yes and changes it to no, then it opens up and shows you all of the elements that are included in that report. Then if there's something that you don't want, like extended home facts, you can uncheck that. So whatever you don't want to include, just uncheck it. Once you have all that determined, just go up to next. You can choose to download, or if you choose to email it to them, then you can put in their email address. If you have the contact in your phone and their email address and phone number, just click on that little plus sign. It will access your contacts. Scroll down, find that contact, click on it, and it will automatically fill in their email address. So you don't even have to type it in.
Goodness sakes.
I know, pretty powerful. I'm going to go ahead and choose to download here, and then hit Get Report. And it'll go out and generate the report. I can create more reports. I can view recent ones. I'm just going to exit right now. All right, so you can see I've done a note. Here's the report that's being generated right now. We'll come back to that in a minute. I'm going to click the back arrow up at the top left here. Goes back to the property. If I click back one more time, it takes me back to my properties. Now I'm ready to go down to the next property. So the next property, instead of clicking on it, I can just go quickly right to notes or to reports. Tap on note as we're going through the property, take the photo, take the note, tap on it. Love the kitchen, love the layout. Save, put in report, choose a report. Now, when I would go out and show 4 or 5 properties, okay, my report is ready. I'm going to hit view later, hit next. I always created the report as I'm walking back to the car, but I didn't send it to them until later, about an hour or 2, because I want them to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And it's taking me a while to generate these reports rather than just a couple seconds. You know, even if I get a phone call, I'm at a restaurant having dinner and someone calls, says, I just drove by this house. Can you tell me about it? And I said, yeah, I'll be happy to send a report to you here. I'm finishing up lunch and then I will get that report to you. So a half hour later, I will send them that report and it looks like I did a lot of work. It only took me seconds. All right, get report. And exit. All right, and then I just go back and do the same thing with the next one. All right, I'm going to click the house in the upper right-hand corner. All right, let's go to, well, let's just go to Urbandale again here. And we'll do a search. We've got a buyer that's looking for properties in Urbandale, Iowa. Okay, so here I've got properties. Move them over here. Whenever you move your mouse or your screen around, shrink it, raise it, you'll have up at the top, redo search in this area, and then it will relocate more properties for you if you move the map. Okay, so from here, I've got 700 plus properties. So down at the bottom, if you click on filter, include property statuses. I want to look just for properties that are for sale. I'm going to click OK later. I want just properties that are for sale. Property types. I want just single family. I want 4 bedroom, 3 bath. And then you can choose the price range. We'll just go 350 or 3 and above. And you can do living square footage. And hit apply filter. And now I've got it up to 100 plus. Let me go ahead and take that down a little bit. And you just go back in and do that if you want. Or you can cancel there and use the draw. So if there's a cluster here of properties that I want, I go down to draw, use my finger, and draw around the area. and then it's just going to show me those properties. If you want to narrow it down even more, click on draw again, and if I'm looking just at this area here, and I just want those properties, now I have those. If I made a mistake, just click on draw again, and draw again. Doesn't want me, I'll redo search in area. Okay. Draw. All right, we just want these 4. Or 5. And then if I want to save it, down at the bottom right, just click on save, and it's going to save this search. Let's say this is the Teeter family. And then hit save with custom name. And then up at the top, you'll see Teeter family, drawn area near Urbandale, and zip. And those are the 5 properties. Down the lower left-hand corner, there's 2 lines and a little exclamation point. If you tap on that, it gives you the map legend, shows you what each stands for. You can change it to hybrid or satellite. If I click on satellite, hit the X in the upper right-hand corner, it now shows me the satellite view of those properties. Okay. All right, let me go back home. So that's kind of the mapping tools that you can use. We also have advanced search. If you tap right underneath search where it says advanced search, you can put in an address, a city, zip, MLS ID up there at the top and search. You can look at all of your recent properties that you looked at, all of your saved properties, and then you have the advanced. So my listings, my market activity, parcel numbers you can look for, keyword search, owner name, banks, investors, you can put their names in there and look for the properties. Or you can tap on schools. When you're out in the field, if you come in here and just tap on that little circle with the arrow that's in the blue right underneath search, it will show you all the schools that are in the area where you are located out in the field. Or you can search by geography or by school district. I'm just going to choose geography here. And let's do West Des Moines. Okay, so we type in West Des Moines. And they want to look just for elementary. Hit search for schools. All right, there's the schools. You can tap on a school and it will bring it down and show you the little thumbnail information about it, so no matter which one you pick from, and then what the rating is. There's Jordan Creek. I can look for find nearby properties or get school report. You can also click on list way at the top, and it will show them all in a list. And you can sort down at the bottom by any one of those ways. And then get report, and then send it off to them. So if I want to do Jordan Creek, get report, goes to school report. I want all sections, just hit next, hit get report, or email it out to them. Okay, let's go back home. How you guys doing?
I'm like,
Brain dead now?
Yeah.
Overloaded?
nah, yeah, I've had 3 classes, my brain's already.
All right, so on this page, let me just kind of go through what you can find here. So up at the top right is your default homepage. Next to it is the circle with the arrow. So when you're out searching around or driving through neighborhoods and you want to know what's available, so when I'm traveling around the country, I'm always clicking on that and it's showing me everything that's in the area where I'm seated, and then I have all of that information right there. Okay. Let me go back home. The little search icon up there next to that will take you into the recent searches, the saved searches, as well as the advanced. Just a quick way, my report's ready. I can click OK. I'm going to come back to the gear in the upper left-hand corner here in just a minute. Okay. Kick me out. It doesn't always like QuickTime Player, so it kicks me out a lot. All right, lower left-hand corner, all the notes. So all the notes that I've taken about all the different properties. So if I'm doing a home tour with the agents in my office, and we're going through each of the properties, I will make little notes about floor plan, about condition, so that if I have a client that calls me about a house that I just saw recently, I can go back and refer to those notes and go, oh yeah, now I remember, because sometimes we get to looking at so many properties that we can't remember which one's which. So I always use this for notes. Again, I'm looking at my age. So I have it all in here. Okay, I'm gonna hit home again. In the center, recent. These are all the recent properties that I've looked at. So anytime you click on a property, and keep in mind that the desktop, the laptop, the phone, the tablet all sync together constantly. So whatever you do on one is still going to reflect on the other. So here's all the recent properties. You can see over on the right-hand side, there's a little, looks like a phone. So it shows you where you found it, and then down here you've got the monitor. We're about done. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you. I just got that. You're supposed to be here at 12:45.
Uh-oh. So here's all the recent properties. Here's the recent searches. Here's the recent reports. So at the end of the day, when I'm ready to send out the reports, I would come in here. And here's the mini property report on one of the properties. So I would click on share. You can do it by text message. So you by text message or by email. I'm going to do it by text message. I'm going to put in their phone number, and this is what I would do at an open house as well. Oops, I can't. No, that's not the right phone number. Let's try that again. 480. All right. I can put a message in. Here's the link. I just hit send, and it goes out and sends it to their phone. They'll tap on it, tap on the link, and then this is what it looks like on the phone. So this is what they would see when they get that message. So at an open house, I would gather their phone numbers or their email and then send out the report to them, and they've got all of that right on their phone. All right, let's go back home. And then the one over on the far right is saved. These are all your saved searches, saved properties. And then if I want to delete, all I have to do is just unselect it, undo the gold star, and then it deletes it from your list here. Same way with searches. If I don't want the Teeter family, maybe they decided to not buy or went with another agent, slide it over, uncheck or undo the save, and it's off the list. Okay. Up in the upper left-hand corner is the gear. If you tap on gear, you go down to user settings. Actually, let's go to profile first. This is where all of your information is. Lots of times I would not have my business cards with me. So I would come in here and I would hit share my contact information. I could do it by text message or by email, and then they would have all my contact information. And then they wouldn't lose my business card by the time they got home. You had a question?
No, I'll ask you later.
You can also edit your profile here.
That's what I was going to ask you, if I can upload my profile and my picture from right there.
Mm-hmm. You sure can. Yep. Just come in here, put all your information in, hit save, and then that information will be there. All right. User settings will be another place you're going to spend a lot of time. Right now, you can set your radius search from a half mile to 10 miles. So if I want to take it back down to a half mile, and I'm just looking at all the properties that are within a half mile of where I'm located. Recently sold, anywhere from 30 days all the way up to 80 days, so depending on what you want to see, you can leave that. And then it shows which one of your home pages is your default, and then just hit save. And once it's all done saving, to get out of that, you're just going to tap on the screen that's right behind it to the right, which is the green and blue. Tap on that, and it brings it back. All right, back to settings. FAQs, we've got a lot of FAQs in here. It talks about AVMs and RVMs down here and confidence score. Good place to get a little extra information. Feedback, we're always looking for feedback. So if you have a suggestion on what you would like to see in the software has gotten better because of you guys. They don't listen to me, even though I'm using it. They don't listen. They want to hear from you guys. So if you know that there's something in there that you would like to see different or another feature, feel free to make a comment and hit send comments. That's why it's changing every month. It's because we're getting comments from agents across to make it better. Also rate us. If you go into the App Store and rate us, we would love a 5-star rating. Okay, and then hit close. Down at the bottom is all of the contact, so you can email RPR, you can phone us. Okay. My phone's always crashing, so that it's always going to product team. Why is this crashing? Alrighty, let's go back up here. So if you ever need to get a hold of us for any reason, we have all of that information down there, and then you can add RPR to your contacts, so it's always in your phone with you. Again, they're located in Omaha, Nebraska. They're there 24/7, and they're glad to help you. Okay, to get help after I'm gone, let me get out of here, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Over here under, let's go here first. This is let me make this bigger here. This is our blog, blog.nerrpr.com. It's not interacting, it's not talking. This is where all of our educational materials are located. So down here at the bottom is training. If you click on training, or you can click on up here, hover over that. Here's video learning. Click on video learning. This is our learning center. Here's guide to geographic farming, working with buyers, getting started, open house, listing presentation. Click on any one of those. You can watch a webinar that's recorded right here, or you could down here and click on any one of the tutorials. Get to know your home page. Just click on the links here, and then it will show you, and then you go back in and practice. So it will walk you through step by step, give you lots of ideas. Back under training, we have a lot of online workshops or webinars to join. We've got, here's getting started with RPR. Just click on RSVP, put in your first name, last name, your email address, what company you're with, select the date, and then save my seat. And they're all free. There's no charge. Back under training also are ebooks. These were developed from our marketing department. We've got 5 ebooks. You can just click on them, download them onto your computer, and they will step by step in these 5 different ways. Okay. We do have a support.nerrpr.com. We have a lot of training here, video library, help articles. You can go into the knowledge base and look for whatever you're looking for. So we have a lot of help for you. You're not out there alone.
Yes.
Any questions? I know, it's a lot of information in a very short period of time. And you weren't using it to its full extent, were you?
Oh, not even close.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of classes that, are more advanced, but this is just the basics that I went through, but we have a lot more that really take you in deeper into the program. So do check us out.
It's shallow and not the deep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for sticking it out with me. Appreciate
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I'm going to have to do my hair later. I was going to wait for back here, lady, to come back. It helps us with get signed up for everything, to get signed up for RPR. So, but you mentioned if you could.
So yeah, if you get on your computer, can you get on the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
All right, we can do it right now. Do you know what your NRDS number is? Your NERDS number?
Yeah, you mean my,
Your 9-digit NERDS number?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Um,
Do you have your little realtor